The Eagles are going to Super Bowl 52 as my laptop is hanging off the edge of this desk. It almost fell down, but it didn't. My God, it's happening. It happened. Nick Foles, Nicky franchise, 3 touchdowns. Philly 500 is here. I'm Adrian Fedq. Let's say it again. The Eagles are going to Super Bowl 52.
Super Bowl 52, just like we said they would. Now, great game by, you could say Carson Wentz, you could say Joe Montana, you could say Dan. I don't know who the hell that was today. Nick Foles, Nicky Six, unbelievable job. And this was a flat-out butt kicking. And me and you, we've talked about this all year with Minnesota. Minnesota was a bad matchup. We were a bad matchup for Minnesota. Casey Keenum coming into Philly would be problems. And that's exactly what happened. Exactly.
I mean, I called the pick six. I said it was going to happen. I said he was going to toss up one of those lollipops. And Patrick Robinson took it 50 yards to the house. So I got half of it right. I got the defense just completely overwhelming Case Keenum. 3 turnovers. What I didn't get right was that I said the defense was going to score more than the offense. Well, that did not happen because Nick Foles looked like the 27 touchdown and 2 interception Nick Foles. And you know who's got to get credit for this? By God, if you don't think that Doug Peterson is a great coach by now, then you are simply a hater. You are simply just like Michael Lombardi. Because what he has done with Nick Foles, he RPO'd the Vikings to death in the first half. To death! They had no shot. Doug Peterson was 1 step ahead of Mike Zimmer the entire game. Mike Zimmer, who shut down all these great offenses, he had no shot. This looked like the Denver game. 1 touchdown after another.
Yeah, this was amazing. It was unbelievable. And some of the throws that Foles made were unbelievable. They were unbelievable. Doug Peterson, great coach. He's earned so much respect this year from me, from you, from everybody. How can you not love the job that this guy did? And it was a flawless game. A flawless game. No turnovers. I mean, there's a couple sacks and that kind of thing. But, man, Minnesota was so off-balance. It was beautiful. I wanted them to come out, instead of just playing conservative, deke and dunk and run the ball, come out gunning. And that's what they did. They totally threw Minnesota off, and Minnesota never could recover.
26 of 33, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns, quarterback rating of 141.4 against statistically the best defense in the NFL. And to get back to Doug Peterson, man, because if he would have kept the offense the same, if he would have kept Nick Foles going through his progressions, this team would not be going to the Super Bowl. The fact that he made the adjustments that he made in the amount of time that he had, 2 weeks. I mean, all the credit in the world to Mr. Doug Peterson. Wow.
Absolutely.
Amazing. I'm a believer. It happened. It took a long time, but I'm a believer now.
Yeah, you got to be. I am too. Look, one of the things that I always look for in a good coach is somebody who takes the talent he has on the field and adapts his play calling and his game plan to the talent and to what they do best. He's not trying to make Nick Foles Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? He is doing what works for Nick Foles. And that to me is a sign of a good coach. That's like one thing Chip Kelly could never do when he coached. He tried to make everybody play the way he wanted to run it. And you can't do that. You got to adapt to what you have. And Doug has done that. So he has earned my respect as one of the best coaches in the league today.
Yeah, you got to be able to adjust at halftime. Something that Andy Reid really never was able to do. He's a great game scripter. In those first 15 plays, they can get you off to a 17-0 start. But then he can lose that lead too. So you see Doug Peterson and the progression he's made. I mean, what I saw, because he called the second half of games in Kansas City, and then even last year, we saw a pass-happy Doug. And he's been able to transform here in his second year and the steps and the growth that he's made. And it happened inside of the season too, because the first 2 games I didn't think he was calling good plays. It wasn't until maybe the Giants game, that was week 3. So from week 3 on, he's really had the pulse of this offense. And man, those last couple games with Nick Foles, it was an abomination. And the balls of Doug Peterson changed this offense around. Doug Peterson Corleone, baby.
Doug Peterson Corleone. I mean, dude, that is really what has happened. He took everything by the balls. You don't hear Schwartz talking. You talking to me, Schwartz, bam, back of the head. He took care of everything, man. He was stomping everybody out. I love it. He is Doug Peterson Corleone. This guy's a genius too, man. Some of these calls were they were beautiful. They were beautiful. I'm proud of Doug. I am. And Nick and the whole. It's an amazing season.
The Eagles had 456 yards against a team that allowed, I believe it's 270 per game. They were 10 of 14 on third down. Just ridiculous numbers. This is supposed to be the best defense in the league. And the Eagles put up 38 points. And they made it look easy. That was Swiss cheese.
It was. I mean, where did this come from? I'm telling you, if you think about this game early on, right? The first drive Minnesota has, they go down the field, they score. Then they get the ball, right? You have Torrey Smith drops a bomb. I thought he had a catch.
Yes.
Had to make that catch. He dropped it. Then Burton, for some reason, jumps up. There's no reason he shouldn't have been able to get 2 feet down. They just looked like their nerves were tight. They were playing tight. They were amped up. But after that pick six, right? After that pick six where Robinson, he ran 90 yards to get 50 yards. I mean, it was ridiculous. After that, the game was over. It was over. The game was over. That took everything out of Minnesota, it seemed, at that point. And Foles just went to work. Now, they kept showing Bradford, right? Sam Stinkford. This is the guy we traded Foles for. Was sitting on the bench. What the hell did we want to trade Foles for Bradford? Look, when he can go out and do something like this. I'm sorry. I love Nick Foles. I do. Nick Foles doesn't have the physical abilities of a Carson Wentz. But the one thing I like about Foles is mentally Foles is tough. And you can see that. You can see that in the way he's rebounded when he played bad. To come out and play the way he did tonight, fantastic.
Yeah, those RPOs early on really got him into a rhythm. That's what happened. He's a rhythmic passer, and you think about basketball background and how basketball is such a rhythmic game, and again, Doug Peterson helping him out, and you said it early on, man. It reminded you of the 2002 NFC Championship game, but the complete opposite happened.
Right.
The other team go down the field and score a touchdown, and we started slow. But then what happened after? Yeah. We kicked the shit out of them.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'll tell you what. The one play where Foles found Alshon, the bomb to Alshon, the touchdown, for Foles to show the poise that he did, to stay in that pocket as it's collapsing, and people are touching him and grabbing, getting so close. He stayed in there and he fired that. That was an amazing play. I mean, that's just usually Foles is the kind of guy that starts to back out and float and fade to that right, and start running. He stood right in there, man. Unbelievable.
Well, there was a throw where he started faded to his right, and he flipped it perfectly in stride to Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. It was a beating. It was a beating of epic proportions. Now Minnesota has to go get our home ready because we're moving in.
We're moving in. Get the locker rooms ready. Shine them up. Get it ready, baby.
Get them ready.
Get them ready. Get them ready. We're moving in for a week, 2 weeks.
Man, yeah, unbelievable. Defense was fantastic. They got pressure on Keenum. Keenum don't like pressure. And it was amazing. I thought Keenum would have run a little more or tried, and he didn't. It played perfectly into our hands, really.
The way the defense went out and did what they did, I expected that. He only scored like 9 points. I said my prediction was 10-9. So obviously and did a lot more than I thought. But the defense, they literally did what I expected. Case Keenum struggles with pressure when you can kind of collapse that pocket. Eagles have the best defensive line in football. Case Keenum is pressured more than any quarterback in the league. If you can pressure him and make him kind of back foot a couple throws, he throws lollipops. That's why I said one of those lollipops is going to get picked off and taken to the house. And it happened. The key to this game was the turnover battle. We all knew that coming in. And the Vikings had, 3 turnovers, and the Eagles didn't have any. So Nick Foles didn't turn the ball over against statistically the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was it. That the quarterback who turned the ball over more this game was going to lose, and one of them was going to happen. And it worked exactly as we planned, as we talked about. Really, all year we talked about this matchup. If the Eagles play the Vikings and Keenum has to come to Philly, never playing a road playoff game, how's he going to fare? How's he going to do? And it wasn't good.
We called it all season long. We knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. It made. I mean, really, I know. The team that would have been more of a problem for the Eagles matchup wise was the Saints with Drew Brees and the quick pass, the way he uses the running backs out of the backfield. I mean, Minnesota tried to use McKinnon out of the backfield a lot too, but it was really garbage time by then. But that gives the Eagles problems, and it just everything fell into place. Minnesota was a perfect matchup for Eagles. Really were.
So
that offensive line did a great job too.
Yeah, the Vikings are number 1 in the NFL in third down conversion rate, and it wasn't like that today at all. Now they finished 6 of 13, but that number got a little bit inflated near the end because obviously in garbage time at one point I forget what they were, but it wasn't good. So the key to stopping them on third down is to stop the run on first and second down, and early on, they were kind of gaining some traction in the run, but as the game went on, they really started to shut that running game down. And when you shut the running game down on first and second down, then you see a lot of 3rd and 8s, and we saw Case in a lot of 3rd and 8 pluses, and that's when you can really ratchet up the pressure on them. And that's what they did. They had a strip sack. Derek Barnett. I don't know why you're trying to take a tight end and take him across the formation to try and block Derek Barnett. I have no idea why they tried to do that. Chris Long with the pressure that set up the pick for Patrick Robinson. Yeah. And then Ronald Darby, the job that he did on Adam Thielen. Yeah, Adam Thielen had nowhere to go. Blanketed by Darby not all afternoon, all night.
Yeah, I mean they were on top of besides the Rudolph touchdown, that matchup with Kyle Rudolph worried me, especially when he had that early touchdown. I was like, oh no, Rudolph's gonna have a big night. But they really shut it down. I don't know what to say. It's unbelievable. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. I've only seen this one time in my life. I've waited a long time for this. Now, it's going to be a hell of a build-up for 2 weeks before this New England game. But I'm a believer in this team. I believe that we could see a lot. We could see one big party coming. But I don't know. This is unbelievable. Wow.
The Eagles averaged 10.2 yards per pass. So against Atlanta, it was only 4.9 with Nick Foles. And that was like a number that I was a little bit worried about coming in. I'm like, man, that game plan against Atlanta was so conservative. But today, it got opened up more against Minnesota. Again, the top defense in the league. I am like almost in shock in a way. I am numb. I couldn't believe what I just saw. It was a perfect game. They crushed them. They annihilated them. There are no more Vikings fans in the comment section. There are no more Vikings fans in the chat.
They're gone.
They're gone.
Viking fans are gone, dude. They're gone. They're skull.
They with the stupid skull chant that they stole from Iceland's national soccer team. They can't even come up with the original chant.
We scolded their ass. That's just the way it was. They're gone. They got blown out. Do you remember a playoff game? Because this game reminds me a little bit of it. When the year, I think it was Pittsburgh's first Super Bowl, where they had Ben Roethlisberger, and he's pretty much been a ball control game manager all year. Now, they were playing Peyton Manning and the Colts, which was a high-powered offense. You need to score points on them. And what Pittsburgh did was they came out and they started letting Roethlisberger throw the ball downfield, take shots, just be real aggressive throwing. They didn't try to run. They came out throwing and totally threw the Colts off that whole game and wind up beating them. This reminds me of that in some ways because I don't think people thought the Eagles were going to be as aggressive with Nick Foles as they were defensively. And I don't even think Minnesota was, and they never recovered. They never recovered. I mean, plays like the flea flicker. I mean, that was unbelievable. It was a genius called game. And that's what they needed to do. That's exactly what they needed to do.
And at the end of the day, 33 passes and 31. So the ratio was actually a little bit more off earlier in the game. But, like, again, when Nick Foles had it going on the way he did, keep throwing the ball. And, Jay Ajayi, 18 carries, 73 yards. I talked about how Minnesota's run defense on the road, not as good as the home one. It's like a 30-yard difference. Jay Ajayi averaged 4.1 yards per carry. They ran it 30 times for 110 yards. 3.7 average, but some of those runs actually, the Nate Sudfeld 3 kneel downs, so that actually affects the average. But they ran the ball when they wanted to. They threw the ball when they wanted to. They had Alshon Jeffrey matched up on Terrence Newman on that one touchdown. So it's like Xavier Rhodes was supposed to shadow him, but Doug was able to find some mismatches. I mean, what can you say? Nelson Aguilar, that one catch he made again, I talked about earlier. Jeffrey had 2 touchdowns. Zach Ertz had a big game too. There were a couple times where it was like a 3rd and 10, and Nick Foles would step up in the pocket, work the pocket, and found him for a first down. So everything was clicking offensively. Everything.
Yeah. It felt like they had him off balance and they never really recovered. And Nick Foles, man, he looked like this was Nick Foles' best game I've ever seen him play. Now, I mean, even over the 7-touchdown game against Oakland, that defense stunk. He had a couple touchdowns that were really give-me touchdowns, but a pressure game with a good defense in a must-win situation, NFC Championship game. This is Nick Foles' best game I've ever seen. It was impressive as hell.
So you bring that up, and it's like it makes me think back to the Giants game again when he threw 4 touchdowns, and why I wasn't as impressed as everybody else. Some of the throws he made, they were wide open receivers. The Giants' defense isn't good. He didn't have to go through his progressions or anything. So the important thing to judge a quarterback is obviously accuracy in the ball placement, and the ball placement today was impeccable. I mean, the flea flicker. He dropped it right into Torrey Smith's lap, right into his lap. Jeffrey, perfectly in stride. I talked about the Aguilar throw earlier, the way he was working the pocket. The one where he pump faked. He threw a pump fake at him, and he stepped up and he hit the throw. I mean, he was everything in the bag today. Everything.
Yeah, it was. It was spectacular. A spectacular Pro Bowl performance. And I like how they use, and they're doing this with Foles. I love that they throw to the backfield, to the running backs out of the backfield now. I mean, they did that 3, 4, 5 times, and it works every time. It's just a well-coached team, good coach, great plan. Quarterback executed that plan, and the other team couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it at all. The only time Minnesota wanted to fight was at the end when the game was over. Then they wanted to be little cheap babies.
Well, they wanted to fight on the field. They wanted to fight after the play. Stephon Diggs out there like a little baby, and then he couldn't even take a hit because he fell down.
Yeah, I mean, bunch of babies. But the Eagles whipped their ass. I mean, they just whipped their ass, and that's it. Minnesota, everybody thought that Diggs, a miracle catch, they're going to the Super Bowl. It's destiny. That crap can work against you sometimes because you believe that you're the destined. You think that you're automatically deserved it. I saw that with the Eagles with 4th and 26. We thought, oh, well, they got 4th and 26. It's their destiny to go. Same thing. It's not their destiny. It's our destiny. That's why they won, because it was our destiny. And they were the team we had to beat.
There was a stat. I don't know if you don't know about this. So teams are in the playoffs are 0-6 in the games following a walk-off touchdown. That's now 0-7.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. So it's like because I can list some examples where it actually worked in the favor of the other team. Because the Tennessee Titans like immediately comes to mind, the Music City Miracle. But we've had a lot of occurrences lately where the team that gets high actually gets blown out in the next game. They get blown out. And that can happen today.
Yeah. Yeah, this was an absolute beatdown. Do you remember when people said that the Eagles didn't beat anybody good? They haven't beat anybody good. We beat the Rams. We've beaten everybody in the conference. We're the best team in the conference. There's only one team left that we have to beat. There's only one. And they better get ready. They better get ready for it because we got something, and we coming for them. We coming.
The early line from Westgate, 5.5 for the Patriots. They're the favorites.
5.5, huh?
5.5.
That'll probably go down by game time. But hey, I want to be the underdog. I want everybody to talk how we have no chance. That's fine with me. That's fine by me. We're going to the Super Bowl. But isn't it amazing though when you have a franchise quarterback like Brady? And I think the Eagles have a franchise quarterback now with wins, and they're going to win a lot of Super Bowls with wins. The last time we were Super Bowl, he was the quarterback. He's still the quarterback, and he's there again. I mean, this guy just keeps going to the Super Bowl. So you got to give him his respect. But the Eagles are going to win. This is the golden age of Philadelphia football. Philadelphia Eagles football, I believe we have entered the golden age of Eagles football. Because Carson Wentz will win you many Super Bowls. But to get one as an underdog with a Cinderella story and a Cinderella finish, for that to be the first one you ever get, you can't replace that. That's what I want from this. I want the first one to be the Cinderella story. And then we can go get the ones that everybody knows we're going to win again, and we do. But I want that Cinderella story. I want the team that shouldn't have won. And we're one game away from that. And it can happen. And it will happen. Maybe. Possibly.
We might be seeing a changing guard in 2 weeks in Minnesota. Think back to the Patriots' first Super Bowl. And you just talked about it. Being the underdogs. It's exactly what they did before they started their dynasty. When Brady was in his second year. And he wasn't supposed to do anything. He wasn't supposed to be anything. They went against
he was playing as Kurt Warner and that offense.
Yeah, they were. I believe it was like 13.5-point underdogs in that Super Bowl. They won. They beat They beat the Rams with a dominant defense and a ball control offense, and that could be the recipe to success on Super Bowl Sunday. We'll see. But Nick Foles, again, the way he played today. I mean, that gives me a lot of confidence going to Minnesota in 2 weeks because guess what? This is not the 04 Patriots. This is not in the middle of their dynasty, their first dynasty when they won 3 of 4. This team is not as good as those teams. This defense can be had. Blake Bortles lit them up today. Blake freaking Bortles. You're telling me Nick Foles can't go to Minnesota and light that defense up? Might see a shootout. Who knows?
Oh, this is if anybody's out there thinking Eagles have no shot, you're thinking wrong. You're wrong. The Eagles have a very real possibility to win this game, a very real good chance. And look, I don't want to give my picks now, but when the time comes, we'll see where we go.
Yeah.
Eagles are in this. The Eagles are not going there to be, the team that takes the beating. The Eagles are going to give the beating. And they just did it tonight. And you can't tell me that they can't score on New England if they showed they could score on Minnesota. So, yeah, Eagles got a shot. Everybody better get ready. The Eagles may be on the verge of their first ring. It could very well happen.
They have the recipe to beat Tom Brady. You need a dominant defensive line. You need a line like the Giants had in those 2 Super Bowl victories. You need to get after him. You need to be mercilessly, consistently getting into the backfield with deep penetration. This needs to be deeper than the deepest penetration we've seen all season. That is the recipe to beat Tom Brady. And the Jacksonville Jaguars today, they did it for 50 minutes, but they didn't do it for the full 60. In 2 weeks, the Eagles, they're going to add that extra 10 minutes to it and do it for the full 60.
That's right. That's right. It's going to be something. I think it's going to be a good Super Bowl. I think it's going to be very entertaining. It's going to be a hell of a build-up. And look, Minnesota thought they were going to come down, take our stadium. And it looks like we're going to go take their stadium. We own their stadium now. I mean, they got to get everything ready because it's ours. And look, we could very well be talking about, hey, Super Bowl champions. We're only 2 weeks away. It's going to be a long 2 weeks, though. But, hey, could happen.
Yeah. Those Vikings fans, man, I definitely don't feel bad for that beatdown. Definitely not.
Oh, and one more thing that we need to address. Because me and you, bitter dingbats, had a bet.
Yes, we do.
Fury.
Yes, we do.
This beautiful. Look at this beautiful. This was going to get burnt. They wanted to burn this thing down. But it's here. And if they need lighters, I got a lot of lighters. I got Eagle lighters I could send them. Because their stuff's got to go. It's going to be beautiful. We beat their ass. Adrian. Yo, Adrian! We beat their ass. We beat the better dingbats 1-0. Undefeated.
We are undefeated. Unbeaten. Indestructible. We are indestructible. And now we're going to be back on their stream, and we're going to make another bet, and we're going to win again.
We own them. We own them.
See, I'm getting a cheesesteak out of this. I cannot wait.
There you go.
That is going to be the tastiest, awesomest cheesesteak of my life.
Oh, yeah. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. And we get to watch Cowboy Sweater burn. It's going to be great. The bitter dingbats won. The bitter dingbats took out the sports fury tonight. And I know that they were pissed because people were coming to my stream saying they're so angry right now. It's all boo-hoo for them. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I love you guys, though. They're the great.
They're the greatest. I love them. They're great. They are the best. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go check them out and subscribe. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So I cannot wait for that.
Then come back. Yeah.
I can't wait for that cheesesteak. I'm going to have cheese whiz all over my delicious beard. I'm going to make sure to grow it out to get as much mushrooms and onions in there as possible. Just let the cheese whiz go. Whiz.
And do what did we score? 38 points, right? So each bite you should chew 38 times. Real slow. So
Ooh.
Josh has to watch you. So
or
like
finish in 38 bites. Or finish in 38 bites.
Yeah, just make it last. Enjoy. Because they thought that we had no chance. They thought we were crazy. People thought we were nuts. Did you read that? Like the comments, people thought, how did these people think the Eagles could even get a first down with Nick Foles? That's what they would say. How is he even get a first down? Like this. Done. Game over.
I mean, I did explain that the defense was going to, they didn't understand that the defense was going to dominate the Vikings, all the Vikings fans. They didn't seem to understand that this was going to happen. And then, hey, Nick Foles, this was unexpected, dude. If he didn't go and do what he did, Wow. But still, like, the defense scored 7 points, and the Vikings, all they did was score 7 points. So, at the end of the day, we still would have won, even if Nick Foles had a bad game. That's how dominant the defense was. And let's not get that lost in the shuffle, because I know everyone wants to talk about Nick Foles, but I mean, this defense, since the Oakland game, again, Jim Schwartz making the adjustments, more heat on third down. Brandon Graham, again, in as a defensive tackle, just getting after the quarterback. Deep penetration. Fletcher Cox. And his Cox swinging after that one play.
I guess it's swinging. I guess.
You like that one, huh?
Yeah.
I don't want to get you sick again.
Oh, I'm already done. I'm a mess.
Oh,
it's just unbelievable, this game. Anyway, hell of a game, man.
Oh,
this is one for the ages, man. All those championship games we lost, a lot of playoff games. You've never seen. I mean, look, I love McNabb, but he never went out and had a game like this in the playoffs. I can remember.
He did not.
He just lit a team up. Foles, man, unbelievable. Yeah. We're going to the Super Bowl, man. We're going to the Super Bowl. Wow. This is like one of the most amazing seasons ever. Not only do we have a generational quarterback, but we're now like almost pulling off an amazing Cinderella story that will live in history forever with just one more win.
Yeah. One more, baby.
I love it.
One more. Just, there was I got to call this guy out again because I haven't told you this yet. So let me see if I can find this tweet. There was a guy that did not want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. He claims to be an Eagles fan. He didn't want them to win because Carson Wentz wasn't the quarterback. Dingbat of the century.
Yes. Deep penetration of that dingbat is needed because yes, that's great. That's the most. Why wouldn't he want? Why would you not want a Super Bowl? I don't understand that. That's ridiculous. This is an amazing story. If your first Super Bowl is a Cinderella story where they write books and do movies and they talk about throughout history, how could you not want that? Plus, let's face reality. If Foles goes out and plays another game like this, all of a sudden, the market for Foles, the trademark, you're going to have to trade him because you're going to get a high pick for him. And I love Foles, but you'll have to do it. And I don't understand how you wouldn't want this story to end with a Super Bowl. I don't. I think it's an amazing story.
I completely agree. I found myself rooting so much more because you have all these doubters, all the fans saying, oh, you're delusional. You guys have no shot. All this stuff. The underdog story. This is typical, resilient Philadelphia. This is a Rocky story come to life. How can you not want this? How can you not cheer for the Eagles? Oh, what? All right, so this guy should be banned forever. So his name is Big Willie 040. So clearly his Willie isn't as big as Fletcher's. I'm sorry, I don't want my first Super Bowl to be won by Nick Foles. Call me whatever, just telling the truth. After nearly 60 years without a championship and you want it to be won and represented by Foles, luster just isn't there. Big Willie 040 on Twitter. Make fun of him now. What an idiot.
I don't understand that thinking. I don't understand that logic at all. I want the Cinderella story. I want it because I already know what we have in Carson. We know what he is. He's a generational talent. I think he wins multiple Super Bowls. I do. But this is not supposed to happen. This is an amazing story. I love it. This is like invincible, right? I don't know why you wouldn't like this. This is something special. Vince
not like-
Papale was a player. This is a team. This is the same type of thing. You know what I mean? Yes. Of course I want this for Foles.
Yeah. Unbelievable, man. This is just, it's just that much better. It really is. It's so sweet to just go out there and just kick the shit out of teams with a backup quarterback. A backup against the top defense in the league. The start of a dynasty might be occurring in 2 weeks. A changing of the guard.
And I mean, and not only beat a number one defense, but tear the crap out of them. I mean, totally tear them up. That is an amazing story. I cannot believe anybody wouldn't want to see that. I think that even non-Eagle fans are going to be rooting for the Eagles because people want to see a story like that. It's just a great story. So yeah, I don't know what to say, man. That's just crazy to me. It's a great story. It's a great story.
It would literally be the best underdog sports story of all time.
It would, and it would be our first Super Bowl. That would always be the first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This underdog come out of nowhere, rise up, win when you're not supposed to win, and then become a dynasty itself and go through these golden ages. I want it. That's how I want it to go.
An underdog story with a backup quarterback, Nick Foles, and then you got even the underdog story of Doug Peterson and how he's grown so much in his second season. A guy like Michael Lombardi saying that he's the most unqualified coach in history, well, the last 30 years or whatever, since he's scouted football. I mean, everybody just doubting this team, not even giving him a shot.
And let's not forget when Foles was here and then traded away because the coach at the time didn't think he was good enough. He didn't think he was good enough, but he won the game tonight to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, the story is an amazing story. I love it. We should embrace this as Philadelphia fans. This is the kind of stuff that we live for. We love. It's the best. It's the best story.
If it wasn't for Nick Foles, we could have never come up with the chant. Foles! 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 Yeah, baby!
Yeah, Super Bowl. I love it, man. We are going. It's going to be a long 2 weeks. That's for sure. It's going to be a hell of a build-up. I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm going to be doing a lot of editing, trying to come out with a lot of stuff, and we'll see what happens.
Wow. All right. So I don't know what else there to talk about, man. Is it about that time?
I'm shot.
I'm
good, man.
Sick. You're sick. Peter. Let's get you out of here. What's your final thought?
Congratulations to Philadelphia Eagle fans. Congratulations, Nick Foles, Doug Peterson. You're NFC champions. But now we got one more to get. Let's get it.
Y'all we got, we all we need. One more game, baby. That's it. For Philly 500, I'm Adrian Fedq. Enjoy. What an amazing day.